Hey everybody, so since IF is starting tomorrow, I wanted to send a video just recapping some of what we discussed on Wednesday in terms of the path for how to form your instructional groups, and also just to show you some different ways to think about grouping your students based on your grade level plans, okay? So if I want to make instructional groupings based on domain, so some of the lessons may be domain specific, whether it be phonics, whether it be informational comprehension or vocabulary. The way that you do that is you go to reports and then you're going to click class and you're going to go to instructional groupings, reading. You'll select your name. So I'll use Frank as my example here. And then you'll see your instructional groupings 1 through 5. These groupings are based on those domains of iReady. So if you look at the plans, let's go to fourth grade's plans, for example, you'll see that the plans are here. And if I click on this link, iReady Responsive Resources, it takes me to the plans for this week. Okay. So you'll see some phonics focus more for my group 1, but as I get down into groups 2 through 5, it's a little bit more focused on these standards that we're looping back to for literature AKS, so A1 and A3. So I would think about my groupings based on domain and kind of write those down and have those in my mind, but I might also want to see what those groupings look like if I'm thinking about these particular skills of describing characters and making inferences. So another thing that I might do is find my groups a different way. So you can go to reports for third, fourth, and fifth. You're able to do it this way. You're going to go to grade level scaffolding. Once I click there, you can select a grade. So if I click fourth grade, I can type in, I already typed it, but let's say inference, and you'll see making inferences in literature. Since that's pretty similar to the skill that they're working on for A1 and A3, I can also see how my students might be broken down into these various groups based on this skill. And so it may be that you can use these multiple points of data when you're determining how you're going to group your students for the coming week in IF. Let's say that you have some students, if we go back to the plans that are in yellow, that are really working on describing characters. This is more of a third grade skill. So the way that you can search this is you can click third grade. Even though Frank is a fourth grade teacher, it will still allow him to type in characters. And then you'll see here describing characters and setting, and you can kind of get a little bit more information. So I would think about how to use multiple points of data and really think about, is your grade level focusing on a particular AKS? I know some grade levels are focusing more domain specific this week until we have those unit assessments. So think about that. Once we do our data dives and our unit assessments, we'll definitely have more specific data that you can add to these instructional groupings when you're thinking about how your students responded to that assessment as well. Okay. So this week is really just about learning the structure and getting your students used to that structure of no mini lesson, but immediate small group intervention. And so use these 3 days to get your students used to transitioning and moving throughout the different groups. Go through and you'll click on these various plans depending on which ones you think suit those students in that grouping best. So again, you're using different data that you've had throughout the weeks with reading to kind of determine maybe where you want to go first. When you click on the lesson, it will pull it up here and you can print it and have it ready to go. Okay. So you're thinking about, you're wanting to see at least every group once this week. So 2 groups per day, about 20 minutes each, 15 to 20 minutes. And you should be able to see 6 groups if we're using Friday as that kind of assessment flex day. Okay. So give it a go. Let us know what additional support that you need. And please reach out with any questions or wonderings, and I will be happy to respond and help you. All right. See you guys then.